Hello and welcome back. I hope you are well. In today's video, we're jumping straight into a time lapse of day 16 of Inktober, which, using my prompts list, is the prompt spell. And I'm going to start off by talking a bit about the process of this drawing, and then I'm going to update you a little bit on how I'm finding Inktober so far, now that we're over halfway through the month. And towards the end, I'm going to show some of the Inktobers that you guys have been doing using my prompts list, which has been wonderful to see. I've been loving looking through everything you guys have been doing, and I'm cheering you on. You got this. And so we're jumping straight into this drawing. I'm using the same pen as I've been using for every drawing, which is the Uni Pen brush pen. And for finer details, I'm using a micron in 0.25 millimeters. And you'll see me using those now, the micron for the eyes, especially to create the shadows on the lids, which you'll see in a moment. And I found that this particular day took me the longest to come up with the exact idea that I wanted for the prompt. I had to spend quite a lot of time making thumbnails in my rough sketchbook, coming up with the exact idea, composition, subject matter. I knew going into this that I wanted it to be a witch casting a spell, but I wanted to do something a little bit different than using a wand or using a spell book or a staff, especially since I did the sorceress a few days ago using a staff to do air magic. So I wanted to do something different, and it took me a few thumbnails to come up with this idea. And usually I've been finding with these Inktobers so far that I've been coming up with an idea almost instantly, or it takes me a couple thumbnails to just, I have the idea in my head, but I want to do a few thumbnails to come up with the exact gesture, the flow, or the composition of the idea in my head. But today I definitely had to do a lot of thumbnails to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And I ended up settling on this that you see here, which is a witch casting a spell, and as she's talking, the words are manifesting into clouds of magic. And I'm really happy with the idea of that. It's probably not particularly unique, but I like the idea of it, especially since I've been enjoying using swirling shapes and clouds and flames during Inktober, I've noticed. So far I've been using quite a lot of swirling shapes. It might be also because of using the brush pen and enjoying seeing the thin to thick lines when I'm making these shapes. It might also be because I've been doing simpler illustrations for Inktober in order to do them daily. So having sort of graphic shapes is something I've been doing most of the days, whether I've been intending to or not. And that'll bring me around to how I'm finding Inktober so far. Now that we are over halfway through, I'm definitely feeling it now. Last week I was telling you about how I've been finding the content creation to be the hardest thing, and to a degree that's still true. I've been finding ways to deal with it now, like I mentioned in the video, but I'm feeling Inktober now, and I'm not the only one. I've been talking to other artists on Instagram and friends who are doing Inktober on Discord, and all of them are feeling it. All of them are very much feeling it now, and we're all keeping going with it. Some of them have decided to do it in a slightly different way now, but so far we're sticking at it. One of the things I've noticed coming up, especially in the last few days, is the desire to take a longer amount of time to draw. As in, I'm wanting to be doing longer term pieces. I'm wanting to be doing, those 10 plus 50+ hour illustrations rather than these daily ones, which, although the drawing in and of itself that you're seeing here might have taken, say, an hour, not including the graphite sketch, it also took a lot of time to do all of those thumbnails, like I was mentioning, and also just brainstorming ideas in general. It's taking up a lot of time to even just do these smaller illustrations, these faster illustrations. But I've been feeling the need to be doing illustrations that might take days or weeks. And I can't really be doing that with Inktober. I could do a personal project on the side, which is one of the ways I've been dealing with this, is that I've been trying to do just completely opposite to Inktober the last couple days, in however much time I have free, to try and help myself with this. So for example, today I went outside, I sat on the bench, and I was with my safe house sketchbook, or my rough sketchbook as I sometimes call it, which is a completely different sketchbook to the one you're seeing. And I only had graphite with me, and I sat and I sketched some of the logs that we had gathered for firewood, and I was sketching the bark textures and the shapes, and I was letting myself spend as long as I wanted, relatively speaking, of course, because I couldn't spend all day outside, but I was letting myself take my time, and I was only using graphite, and that really helped me, I noticed. And I still am enjoying Inktober. It's not like I'm burning out from it or anything like that, but I am starting to definitely notice my creative desires to be wanting to do other things on, as well as, I suppose, in conjunction to these drawings. And I do wish to a degree that I'd be able to spend a longer amount of time on them. It's been quite freeing in a way to do these drawings, to know that I have a time limit on them, that I can't redo them over and over. I just come up with an idea, get it done, and then it's posted. It doesn't matter how good or bad, quote unquote good or bad, it ends up being. It's done, it's out there, we move on to the next day, we move on to more practice. And that can be freeing to a certain degree, but I am definitely feeling the need creatively to be doing other things that might take a longer amount of time, that might not be in the spotlight. So having these private sketching sessions that are completely different to what I'm doing for Inktober has been helping me the last few days. Also, on the content creation side, you'll notice that the time lapse that I've recorded for YouTube, which I recorded in the horizontal format you're watching, I record up to pretty much most of the illustration being complete. And then I stop it and I add in some sparkles around the clouds. And those sparkles are recorded vertically in real time to use for TikTok. And that was one way for this particular day, to the sparkles that you see there, to have content for both platforms without it impeding one or the other. And yeah, there we go. That's my drawing for the prompt spell. So I'm going to show you some of the drawings that people have been doing for my prompts list now. It's been so lovely seeing everything that you've all been doing. The different ideas you've been coming up with for each of the prompts has blown me away. It's been amazing. I'm cheering you all on. Keep enjoying what you're doing. I also want to give a really big thank you to everyone here who's been watching and supporting. We're at nearly 100 subscribers here now, and I have no words. I'm just so happy, and I'll see you next week.